I really love the system. Oh.
We're back.
Woo!
Woo. Episode, don't tell me, 8,
Uh,
7?
I think 8 or maybe
8 sounds right
8.
because we did split 6
Yes,
and
we did 6
7.
and 7, and then we missed. Oh yeah, we missed last week.
Missed last
So
week. I
formal
almost I
apology.
had it on my to-do list yesterday. Um, make a little video about missing this week to
Hmm.
put it on the sticky notes Instagram, and then I just didn't do it.
I was gonna make a funny post, like or like a
Yeah.
story, the way,
I
and then I
love
just
your stories where you have your eyes all
it's
those
my favorite filter,
pixels
the like
were
bug
my
filter.
favorite thing.
I was gonna
We'll
do
figure
something about
something
missing
out.
it, and then I just got cut off with whatever I was doing. I can't remember. And then I just never got around to it.
I just realized that it didn't matter too much, and people could wait, and it'd be
Yeah.
okay. And then I
I
checked
mean,
on Buzzsprout, and
mhm.
still 2 people listened to our podcast yesterday.
Oh.
So
Actually, oh
it's
my God,
like
you know what I realized as well that oh my God, I really meant to do? I forgot to upload the YouTube for the fitness episode, last week's episode. So
the
I'm going to do
YouTube
that
is
right.
just a fun little extra. The whole
Yeah.
thing is a fun little extra.
Hmm.
But we did have some exciting. Was it last week that we interviewed Max? Was that last
Yeah.
week? We did our first interview for oral histories,
Hmm.
which was very exciting.
I haven't listened to it back yet, and I'm kind of scared too.
I haven't listened to it either. When I logged on to Riverside today, I saw it
Yeah, I
in
saw
the
it.
recordings and I
Mhm.
kind of forgot that we had done it.
Yeah.
But I feel like we learned a lot from that experience. I
Yeah.
learned that we are so we're interviewing him again,
Hmm.
probably 2 more times because an hour wasn't even close to enough.
Mm.
I guess it was more like 45 minutes. It wasn't even close to enough time, which I kind of anticipated, but that's just the time that we all had.
Yeah.
And I was actually so nervous.
Hmm.
I was really
Really?
tired, but I was also really nervous. And I
Okay.
just,
Nerves, I couldn't tell. Tired, but poor thing. I mean, like it was what 6 a.m. your time. Like no
it was
one was
6
expecting
a.m.,
me to.
which has usually been fine for me, but that specific morning, I slept so poorly.
Hmm.
And then someone had scheduled a phone call with me at 5 a.m. So I had just been up. It just wasn't a good
Yeah.
setup for me. Tomorrow will be better, but I was so
I mean,
tired.
we can always, if we listen to it and just decide that it is a bit all over the place, then I don't think it's bad if we not scrap it, like keep it for ourselves and almost like I would be down to tomorrow act like at least go into it maybe thinking, okay, this is the first part or like
Yeah.
blank slate, just because I think there's no loss in terms of we got the experience of okay, what do we, like we've learned from that
Yeah.
first part of like, and this is I've literally just come to this idea now, so I'm talking it through with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I figure it's like a situation where we've learned sort of what questions we want to ask and how we want to route it and things like that, or just like the skills in general of interviewing. But it's a thing where I imagine the more we do it, the more comfortable we are going to get. So we can always go into tomorrow thinking, all right, let's go in with a bit more of a clear sort of route to things, and then if he can hopefully give us a second hour, because then I think we can make more use of the hour, because maybe that was as well where where because we had, and he's just an interesting human. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
is interesting. I don't think anyone on the planet is boring,
He's
but
especially interesting though, because he's so knowledgeable and funny.
yeah, it's his
He's just
mannerisms as well.
a good combo. Yeah.
He's a great person to chat to. So I think that we could have go in with a less of a chatty mindset and more of like a we want to extract information from him kind of a mindset, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
And
because
then
I didn't obviously I know that interviewing someone is a skill, but
mhm,
I didn't expect it to feel so different from when you and I are having these conversations.
mhm,
And then there were a few moments where I felt like you, I don't know if you realized it or not now, but you were sensing it as well of we would kind of ask a question,
mhm,
something along the lines of, so how did you get into doing the training as a classical teacher? And he would answer that question
Mhm.
sort of in a chronological way. And I would kind of think, but I want to know why.
Mhm.
And there wasn't, you have to be actually so specific because they're not in your brain.
Yeah.
They don't know what the purpose of
Yeah.
what you're
I
asking.
feel so the questions I feel are I'm trying I need to that's why I'm like I should re-watch it. Maybe ideally before we re-interview him so I can just like brush up on like what we asked
What
him
was
or like
said.
what yeah, the knowledge. But I think when I was asking him, I remember feeling for the most part satisfied or not satisfied with the response, but I do think he was sort of getting to what I was asking. There was one or two where I could tell that I felt that you wanted to go a different way with or you met something different with the question than how he answered it
Mm,
because I could
mhm.
almost see in your face you were like interested and then he was like almost taking you down a different route but I felt that he didn't answer it the way you wanted it answered so I
Yeah,
wonder if but I also wonder if because like we're saying you were I mean you I'm trying not to swear on this podcast you were tired it was early
I
in the
was so
morning for you
tired.
so I wasn't and I was like I had been teaching so I was not only was it later on in the day but I felt very like awake and a bit
Yeah,
more on it. So maybe was able to, and maybe also I was because he was there in person with me. I could
I was gonna
communicate a
say
little
that
bit easier to
helped.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I also felt like there was kind of two, I realized as soon as we started talking that there was two different directions that it or two areas I really wanted to explore. And one
mhm,
was history of Max. How did we get here? And if I had 5 hours, I would have said, like, what was your household like? Like, I want to know the whole story. And then the other
you
half
want to like
is
psychoanalyze him.
I just am so curious. And then the other half is what is your experience like now? Can
hmm
we, without naming names, talk about specific clients? What do you actually experience when you're working
Yeah.
with people? Like, there's just, I feel like there's the before and the current,
I wonder
and
if it's more worth it to explore probably the second part
definitely,
because it will pertain
yeah.
more to the classical. Like I wonder if I guess
We
this is less
kind of got
brainstorming tomorrow.
and maybe we'll watch the first part and think, oh, we're scrapping it. But
Mhm.
we kind of got the history of how Max got
Yeah.
to what
Like
he's
if we use it,
doing.
I would almost use last week's as almost not the first part as like a, okay, this is like extra, a bit more of a chatty episode, like
Yeah,
extra content almost. Whereas I feel if we go in tomorrow with like prompting questions and like we'll be like, okay, Max, we are gonna ask you some of the same things just to like redefine. Um, and like for the new episode and then go into a bit more like I'm curious because you obviously told us a bit about how he started with that like almost apprenticeship and sort of start from
mhm,
there be like okay about that and then go into the sort of last 10 years of teaching and
yeah,
more the sort of like classical style his thoughts on classical systems or like conversations in that world because that will be more relevant than to apprentices or people who are
yeah,
going to use it as a tool
yeah,
and then whilst he is like you're saying, I'm on the exact same boat as you. Like I could chat to that man for hours. Like he is just
forever.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Um, uh, maybe it's like just like the extra, like an extra bonus thing.
And the little detail when he said that, I forget exactly what it was. Something about his dad. Was it that his dad owned a skate shop or something?
hmm
I just thought that that to me was in the puzzle of Max, a piece
It made so much sense
aligned.
because
And
he
I
was
was
there. I
like,
don't think I wish I
yes,
want to show. I want to post. Oh, we need to get on those dumps. Actually, I should get more on top of that because I took a photo of him and I just sat on the Cadillac and it's us
yeah,
swinging our legs because we're both on the shorter end. So obviously neither of our feet touch the floor. And I'm in my trainers and he's just in his like Van sneaker shoes. And it was just such a
gotta. I know I need to get on that too. I'm gonna try to every 2 weeks or week if I
Mm.
can post just
I think
what
it'd be
I've
so cool
been
because anyways,
doing.
obviously I get to see your social media posts because I follow you. And this all the Salt Lake stuff just looks so cool. Um,
So
Let
wild.
me try. Oh, I can't find it. But yeah, I think. Oh yeah, it's just. Can you see? It's just.
Yeah, I love that. That's such see, that's so cute.
Yeah.
We need that out there.
But I think it was just a good in general lesson. And obviously, there was also a lot going on in the studio. It was a bit chaotic. It was us figuring out how to record with another person. So I think it was like a great practice. Oh,
Hold on. I just. Oh. Am I still here with you? Hold on.
yeah, you're right. It's just saying that the audio is going to record on a different file, basically.
I just unplugged my mic and then had to replug it in. So,
Oh, good.
why won't you work? Hold on. I might have to.
You may not be able to charge and.
Well, now I can because they're
Okay.
both plugged in now, but I don't know why it's not letting me switch my mic over again.
Oh, strange.
Hold on. I'm gonna leave and come back real
Okay.
quick.
Oh, it's continued recording. Well, we're not going to use this. It's going to be cut out, but. Oh my God. Oh, I need to talk about the bob. Guys, you're seeing new me. Because obviously the bob was put on display to the world in oral histories, but you guys haven't seen it yet. Sorry. I didn't realize it would continue
Whoa,
recording,
wait.
so I've been speaking to them.
No, I love that. I just hopped on and I thought I was like about to record over something that we already recorded. I was very
No.
confused. Okay, cool.
I was talking about
Sorry,
my
I
bob
don't want to
because I
interrupt
realized,
you.
no, you're fine. I just realized that the sticky notes have not seen the bob yet because I
Oh
was on oral
yeah,
histories.
the Bob is so cute. I
um,
thought you were talking about Bob as in the person in Pilates.
oh, oh no.
Double
Although
meaning of
he
Bob.
is a very prominent person.
Hmm.
But that's not about the
The
hair.
Bob is very cute though. I love it.
Thanks.
Are you still
Everyone who's been
liking it?
seeing me is like, it just suits you so much. And I was like, thank
It suits
you.
you really well. I think
I
it's
do
super
really feel
cute.
like um, I've been sort of in line with like what we were talking about last week or last episode.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gone through a lot of change in my personal life in the last 2 years, just
Hmm.
with that transition to Pilates and then everything that's come with that, and then in my personal life. And I feel like now I just chopped off a lot of like dead weight, or like I chopped off the old Leila, like the old hair. And I feel like now when I look at myself in the mirror, what I see outside matches what goes on the inside, if that makes sense.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like
And
the
I wasn't
dream.
expecting to love it that. I mean, I was the whole reason why I chopped it in the end is because I've been thinking about it for so long and it had taken up so much mental real estate that I was like, I just need to do it. Even if I hate it, it'll grow back. Like I'm not that sentimental about my hair.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, my hair was never done and it was never actually down. It was always just like up in a ponytail. And I was always
Yeah.
sweating from workouts and then just throwing it up, not shampooing it as much as I probably should have. Because I
Yeah.
was also, I'm like, I don't want to shampoo it every day that I sweat. So I would like
Yeah.
wash out the sweat, but I wasn't shampooing it. It's like that age old like problem if you're a girl and work out. Like it's such an
Forever,
impossible.
ever and
Yeah.
ever. I also feel like you have such like you had such thick, long hair
Mhm.
that to me, I feel like it would be easy to think like, why would you cut that hair off? But it's still like thick and beautiful. It's just like
So easy to
chic.
maintain now.
Yeah.
It's also I'm just very lazy and I'm already very lucky in that my hair, because I was talking to talking to Laura and she has like curly hair. So her styling her hair is a whole process. Like with anyone with curly hair, it's like
Yeah.
a whole step routine. And I was like, oh, like all I have to do is shampoo my hair and I'm very lucky it dries straight, like air dries. Um, so now there's even less that I have to do. So
So good.
and I felt the wind on my neck the other day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is
And
this
in
sensation?"
this heat too.
Yeah.
Do you just put it in a clip most of the time?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
When
cute.
I work out, I've been having to tie it in this half up, half down, just because it is too short to have it all up. But my favorite is styled like with the clip. I also like it with a cap. I like it
Yes.
when it's all down, so long as it hasn't, like if I've worn a cap or something that makes it puff or a bit more rounded, I don't love the rounded. But when it's sort
Mhm.
of like down and just like behind the ear, I really like it. So, and I get to sleep. I can sleep with it all down, which is so nice because I know it's good for your hair to like not be tied up and things like that.
Mhm.
So,
I also think during Pilates, with my hair, and you probably had this way more, is even if it's up when you're doing like long stretch or something, it's just like
Oh yeah.
here.
Not even
And
that.
it's so annoying.
I have lost so much hair to the headrest
Yeah.
or to like doing backstroke. The amount of times the handle just rips out my hair.
I didn't
So
even realize that was a thing.
mm,
The shoulder block headpiece, all the hair around there
oh, I don't even want to know what
until
John
yeah,
sees.
until someone was, I think John was talking to me about just cleaning the reformers and stuff. And he was like, yeah, all the hair. Like, now that you say that, duh, because
Yeah.
everyone's laying there with their head.
I mean, I just think of it in my part, like the amount of times I will lay down and then I'm lowering the headrest for like short spine, and I'm like, oh, there goes about three hairs.
Yeah.
But I was really happy because when I went to cut it, my hairdresser, who I've been with her for a long time now, but because we had to thin out the back slightly, just because where my hair is very thick, she's like, it's going to look very rounded if we don't. And I was like, I trust you, go for it.
Yeah.
With my hair, my like individual strands are very fine. I just have a lot of it, so it then gives me that very like thick hair. But she's like, "Oh, your hair is still like really thick, and like there's a lot of new hair growing," which was a big priority for me because I wanted to make sure that all right, was really focused on as I've been leaning out, making sure that I'm eating enough and like eat enough like micronutrients and like all of that. And I know like with a lot of people when you lose a lot of weight, your hair can thin out or you can like shed because
Mm,
obviously your body is like trying to it's like getting rid of what it like it's trying to utilize the energy as much as they can. So like
yeah.
I don't know, a lot of people lose hair.
Yeah.
And I think that has happened to me before when I've like lost weight in an unhealthy way. So not to always bring it back to weight loss, but it was satisfying to know that okay, even just like from a hair standpoint, I was at a healthy point or
It's a
healthy
good
level.
indicator of health, I think.
Yeah.
Not necessarily if someone doesn't have super thick hair, but if it's staying consistent. So that's,
Mhm.
I feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's that thing where very unrelated, but like people always say like what's a regular amount to like go to the bathroom, and it's what like whilst they're like very like an overall range, it's more so that you need to be worried when there is an change and an
Yeah.
inconsistency. That is where there's a
Yeah.
problem. So although it's a very unrelated topic, to me it's the sort of same thing with hair where it's like it doesn't matter if your hair is thick or thin, if there's like been a big change that you had thick hair and it's thinning out, then there is like cause for concern. Like, although I guess if you had very thin hair and it was thickening, then that's probably a good thing.
You'd be
But
like, that's a win. I don't care.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Whatever. I
that
went
would lead to a quite a big change. That means there's probably some big internal change.
something going on. Maybe a good thing.
Mhm,
When I went to a dermatologist a few months ago just for a skin check,
mhm,
she told me one of the biggest things is to just know your skin because people have all kinds of stuff that happens on their skin
mhm.
and doesn't mean it's a bad thing or cancerous or whatever, but you just have to know what's normal for you.
Yeah.
So,
I've been seeing people get their moles checked and like mapped, and it's a thing
mm,
that has like, sort of now come in because I've got quite a lot of moles on my body. And it's easy to look at a mole and say, "Well, I don't think that there is anything wrong with that," but you would obviously never know.
yeah,
And I don't know if it's just a thing that's now like being pumped onto my algorithm in my system and is just like being advertised to me. But yeah, it's something that's like now in the back of my mind to like
it's
get checked out.
interesting in the UK. It's not, at least in my experience, it was not a part of what was accessible to me as just normal preventative care. In the US, you can just go to your doctor and get a mole check as a part of your
Okay.
insurance.
Yeah.
But I tried to do that in the UK because that's what I was used to. And they were kind of like,
I think
no,
you
you
have to do
have
it
to.
private here, probably.
I did it privately just because I had done it. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to keep doing it again. But that was just an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I want to check out in Saudi a way to do it, but I don't even think, not that I don't think they have that, but I really can't imagine it's.
What is the health insurance sitch there?
I'm on my dad's health insurance, although
Is it
actually,
mostly private?
yeah, because most people, I mean, I believe that there are public hospitals, where, and obviously at that point, believe like in public, you wouldn't like. I'm sure there's a level where you don't have to pay, um,
Mm,
because the government, especially, I say, I know at least for Saudis themselves, the government is very good at making sure that there is like levels accessible for them, and
Yeah.
especially like across sort of education and then
I
also in
remember
like
you said that with
healthcare.
education. Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe it's the same in healthcare. I don't know if that is extended to foreigners, but most foreigners that are in the country, or actually, sorry, all foreigners that are in the country are there in a work visa or on a work visa. And then if you're
Mm,
on a work visa, you will have health insurance.
okay.
And what level of health insurance you have, I guess, depends. But everyone has some sort of insurance. And I believe across the board, it's for the most part very good, I would imagine,
Yeah.
um, from what I hear. So I've been on my dad's health insurance my whole life. And I remember once looking at the price of something and then what it would be without insurance. And I was just gobsmacked by
Shocking.
those prices. Yes, it's
It's a
insane.
fun game. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, everything you would do is private. That's why when I came here and there was like the whole private versus public, I didn't really understand for to a point because had always been used to private, but it was not seen it's I don't think it's a luxury there the way it is a luxury here, if that makes sense, sort of to do everything private because
Yeah.
most people have like levels of health insurance. So I
Yeah.
would imagine you would this is probably less covered, especially like by the health insurance we are on, like getting a mole check, but it probably does exist there to an extent. Because also we will be getting large levels of sun exposure. So
I
it's
was
probably a
gonna say, yeah,
deal.
probably would be. It's just interesting the way different places handle it.
Yeah, like that's why I've heard of it being such a big deal, or I feel like I hear a lot more from people I follow from the States, and it's only
Yeah.
now becoming a bigger deal in the UK, and that's why it's like sort of being pumped on my algorithm, or
Yeah.
like I've been seeing people here do it. So it's interesting how like rhetoric from social media can like, be like influence, wellness patterns.
And I remember, I believe it was Sarah at one point trying to schedule just a checkup with her
Hmm.
GP in the NHS, and they were kind of like, we don't do that.
Mm,
We don't do just a physical. Whereas in the
yeah,
US, it's that's pretty standard every year
yeah, I
to
would do like
have
a
a
checkup.
physical,
Mhm.
which is
I would do
just
like a
interesting.
do they run any tests when you do that checkup, or is it just like a general
I
chat?
haven't had one in the US in a while. I'm going to have one soon so I can let
Oh,
you know, but I'm
mhm.
pretty sure I don't think they draw blood or anything. I think they just check your blood pressure, listen to your
Yeah,
heart.
so I had a similar thing growing up. I mean, it was also when I would go and like get like my vaccines or like whenever I was like it. I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was just like they timed up at the same time or lined up that I was getting my vaccines, and then also it was like the yearly checkup. But yeah, I mean, for example, even though I've been in London for the last 5 years, I do my dentistry when I go home. So I'll go and like get my teeth cleaned or like the general checkup every time
Yeah.
I'm back.
I did
Um,
go to a private dentist in the UK when I had my wisdom teeth were starting to
ooh,
really, really hurt.
mhm.
And I went to a UK dentist and he told me super great, loved it, really good experience. And he told me, don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. Like take something for the pain, it will pass. And then I went to the US and they were like, immediately get these taken out.
Oh.
So it was a very interesting dichotomy between the
Mhm.
two. And I ended up getting them taken out in the US. But I remember thinking, how is this possibly such a different
Answer.
diagnosis
Yeah, that is so
of what to do? I'm so confused.
I mean,
Um,
I've heard of and I know places or like hospitals that will, if they know you're under insurance, run extra tests or procedures because they know it's not that you're going to pay it and then the insurance company is going to have to pay it. So they do
yeah,
it to make extra
yeah,
cash, basically.
it's pretty wild. I believe
Kind of
it.
scary.
Um, I don't know how we start talking about health insurance
How was
because
your,
of
I guess,
hair.
yeah, oh yeah, because of the bulb. I mean, that's
Oh,
my biggest life update is my bulb.
last thing on Max.
Mm.
Should we, before tomorrow, write out some questions in a Google Doc or something just to
Yeah, we
kind of
can.
get situated
Yeah,
before.
maybe we structure it out because
Yeah.
then, and if we can do a rough sort of outline, or maybe if we even decide not who is going to ask what exactly, but then it also allows us to know so we don't cut each other off too much because there will be a
Yeah.
bit of a lag, and I don't want either of us to miss a point.
Yeah. 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 Maybe we can think
Do you
about
want
it
to
a
do it on
bit
a,
more.
should we make a note? A
Yeah.
note, like a notes app,
Let's
because
do a
then I can
note.
have my notes open tomorrow on the screen and it can just be easy in
Yeah.
that
That's
sense.
a good idea.
Yeah. I have I was gonna say I have to leave at, I've got another hour and like 20 um
I
tomorrow.
feel like it'll be a
Sorry.
bit smoother because the
Yeah.
setup
Oh, sorry, I
will
meant
be.
today because I need to leave at
Oh,
4
yeah.
my
Yeah.
time to go teach. But once I was just doing two
That's
classes
totally
of cover this evening. But once I'm done, I will just like add into that note.
okay. Yeah. I'll start doing it once we're off. Um, yeah. Okay. So personal
Oh,
updates,
so
the
yeah, that
Bob.
the Bob is my biggest personal
That's a big
update.
update, to be fair.
It
New
is.
hair.
I mean, it has literally my I was telling everyone my only regret is not cutting it sooner. But also, to be fair, I think now is like I don't think I would have loved it as much before now because whilst my hair was always up, I do feel like my neck and like arms are even more exposed. And I'm like obviously quite
Mm,
comfortable and confident in like my upper body. So but I think if I wasn't before now, yeah, I don't think I would have been as loving of the bob. So
yeah.
big fan though. It's so easy to maintain. And I just sometimes my hair was literally causing me overstimulation. Like if I would put like a hoodie on, like it's getting stuck and oh, I can literally feel it. And the other day I put on a hoodie and I went to like go yank my hair out of it and it wasn't even there. Like it wasn't I was just like habitual that I did it. And I was like, I'm so free.
You're so
Uh
free. It doesn't
yeah.
get stuck when you put things on.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
living the life.
Dreamy.
But this is to say, if I ever, because everyone's been, I've been like, you should get it, chop all your hair off, because everyone's like, I've been thinking about it. I was like, chop it off. But if you hate it, and if this has convinced you, don't blame me. I
Don't
take
blame Leila.
no
I have only
credit.
chopped my hair once and I really loved it. So I
Oh,
feel like everyone should give it a try at some point. And I have some friends
that's
who they have their hair cut almost jawline, like super
ooh,
bob, and it looks so good.
okay.
I feel like it's a very bold
I mean, I think
look.
we went a little bit shorter than I had. I was originally thinking about there. And then obviously this is like a bit curled and wet because I was sweating before this. But also she was like, it's going to grow so quickly. And I was like, you know what, cut it to whatever length you're thinking. Like I trust her. And I really like it like this. I'll be interested
Yeah,
to
it's
see
super cute.
how, thank you, as it grows out to about there, what it will be like. But then she was
I was
like,
gonna
what?
say you might get some. Maybe it'll grow out a little bit, and you'll love that length even more,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you'll
But
just
then I
get a
think
few
I,
different waves of it.
yeah, different styles. And then
Yeah.
it's nice because I think I would always probably cut it shorter than I want because my hair does grow quite quick. Um, that means that cutting it to that length, it would instantly grow out to that weird, not weird, the more sort of like awkward in between growth. Whereas
Yeah.
between this and then that, it makes more
Yeah.
sense. Which having hair that grows quick is, or like thick hair is great until you have it all over your body. Then it's not as fun to deal with. So, because I used to always tell my mom, it's like, Mom, I wish I had your hair because my mom has very fine hair. But she's like, yeah, but I wish I had your hair that's on your head. And I was like, yeah, well, but I got to deal with it everywhere. Because she like
Can't have
will
it all.
epilate, yeah, she will epilate her arms. And I was like, that is the most painful thing. I could not even imagine doing that.
Yeah. It's
It's like,
like
not with
people
my
who
hair.
have just really beautiful eyebrows because they just have thick hair. Like you have that.
Thanks.
It's just a gift.
You have
The
lovely
grass is
hair as
always
well.
greener.
Grass is always greener. Yes, literally.
My hair's a bit all over the place. One thing that's been
Yeah.
really nice living here is that the water is not nearly as
I
hard.
was about to ask about the water. That's the one because everyone that I see, or just in general, I feel like whenever people leave London or are out of the city for a little bit, there's like a glow that comes back to them, and it truly
Yeah.
is like the
Think it's the
cities.
water.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it doesn't affect everyone's hair, but it really affected my hair in London. My hair was just
You were
dry
also
and
on the Thames like 24/7. I can't
yeah,
imagine that helped.
yeah. I do miss the Thames a lot. It has been a big transition
Oh. Yeah,
in
tell us.
Salt
Okay,
Lake City.
my only update is the hair and
The
like
hair.
some exciting potential like business meetings, but like nothing is set in stone
I'm
yet.
excited to hear about that,
Once I promise,
the
once things are
details.
official and go through, you'll be the first to hear.
Is
But
it Pilates related?
yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's sort of like
That
my future and where I'm going to end up related.
that's
So
very exciting. I
yeah,
love
it is.
that.
It's seeming quite positive, but I'm always like, I'm like until everything is signed, I don't even believe that it's going to happen. But
Gotta
yeah, so
wait till
my
it's
biggest
signed, sealed, delivered.
yeah, so my biggest update is literally the bob, and life has been normal. I teach Pilates, do Pilates, learn Pilates on repeat. So
So
I want
good.
to hear about the move to Salt Lake.
Well, I keep looking out here because I have a very beautiful view of the mountains, which is
Oh,
lovely. But it's been a very up and down transition. I think moving is challenging no matter what, but it has felt a lot more uprooting than I really expected it to. When we first moved here, Tristan's parents were here for a week, and that was amazing. I think my body kind of felt like I was just on holiday
mhm.
because we were going out to dinner and we were going to the very few museums here and exploring around. And then they left, and I kind of had a moment of, oh, wait, we live here now. That feels really intense. So, literally up until yesterday morning, it was so challenging. I just felt very up and down,
Mhm.
and I didn't have such a big part of my identity is rowing, and I don't have that here, which I think is a good thing. It's pushing me to explore other things, but every single piece of life here is just so different. The grocery
Mhm.
store that we go to is gigantic.
Oh my God.
There's just infinity aisles. And every time I go in, I'm like, why does there need to be this many aisles? Like, it's so hard to find
The
anything.
one thing I really am envious of everyone that lives in the States out for, oh, well, there's two things. First of all, Barnes and Noble seems like it would be my just heaven, but
Yeah.
also the size of an iced latte that is like this big, but
It's
it's
so
just
funny you say
coffee.
that because I actually feel very grateful. The area that we're in is quite walkable. You know, you need a car, but
Mhm.
if you were to just be like today, right now we only have one car. Tristan's going to drive to work, and I'll be totally fine to walk everywhere I need to go.
Nice.
Um, so there's a few coffee shops nearby, and I have been getting iced lattes from a place across the street, and every time I am just floored still at how big it is.
Quantities, yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
Saudi's quantities are more similar to the US than it is to London. Like
Okay.
larges there are quite big, but I still don't think it compares to American sizing. I don't think anywhere in the world compares to American sizes. But anytime I
It's
see an
nuts.
influencer with their gigantic iced latte that is
Yeah.
as big as my Stanley cup, I'm like, wow, that would cure me, I think. But
It's
also
pretty
would
crazy. And
lead
it's,
to so many caffeine
yeah,
addictions.
that and little things like tipping. I kind of forgot
Mm,
about tipping. And there's a few places here that have, in my mind, they're a bit sneaky about it because you get the receipt and then you pay, and the little tap, you know, the thing they bring you when you like tap your card. And immediately, this happened at a pizza place we went to. What popped up was the first option was 40%, and then 30%, and then 25. Those were the three options. And then it
oh
said
my
other. And we were like, you are kidding me. And it's tough because people aren't getting paid what they should be paid.
yeah.
So you feel a good pressure to tip,
Mhm.
and we try to tip well, but it's such a shift from just knowing exactly how much your thing is going to cost, or even
Yeah.
taxes. If you go to a store in the UK and taxes are included, you know exactly.
That's my thing that I don't understand why they are not have because my when my best friend came and she was doing a bit of shopping as well, and she
Mhm.
had just been in Canada and then also in the States. And she was like, "It's so crazy because when I go to the bill, I just know what I'm going to be charged." And I was like, "Well, yeah, of course. Why
Yeah,
would you
duh. Yeah.
we're not out here doing maths in the store.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me that you would have to you would pick things up, and if you were like sticking to a tight budget, you would get to the till and maybe you've mathed it wrong or not, but
Yeah.
you don't know exactly what you're going to be charged because like the tipping thing. Okay, I because I someone was complaining I saw on social media that in the UK you're sort of like being forced to already pay that sort of like 20%, which I actually quite prefer because then you don't have to figure out how much to tip. But
Yeah.
I was like, okay, why would you not at least do that on items in the store?
Yeah. I know. It's very confusing. And the place where I get my iced lattes, really, really, really nice people. And I am growing to love that space.
Hmm.
Every time I go, they ask me, "Do you want to tip?" And every time I do, but I'm still not used to that moment of
Hmm.
them asking, me knowing I should, me kind of calculating things in my head. It's just a very different, it creates a different culture, which I
Yeah,
did not
because you
really
have to tip
notice
there
before.
for every sort of level layer of service as well. Because to
Yeah.
me, I would think like in a coffee shop or where, for example, they're just handing you the drink, and obviously there's someone who's making the drink. But to me, those are there's less layers of not work that's gone into it, but I would think to tip less versus a waitress or a waiter. But obviously, you
Yeah.
have to tip everything basically.
Yeah. You have to kind of tip everything. I mean, that's a small one, but it feels very different. I'm trying to think.
I imagine it's hard as well because you've continued your work at Pi, so you're working like UK hours, and then also
Yes.
you're not there indefinitely, you're only there for a short period of time. So
Yeah.
I imagine while you want to create roots there, it's hard because you probably in the back of your mind know this isn't forever. So I can't even
Yeah.
imagine it's a
It the pie stuff has been awesome. I The first week that I was doing it, I way overloaded myself with early mornings. I just
Mm,
thought it'll be great. I'll start work at 5 a.m. and I'll, be done at 11 or noon. It'll be great. And that, and no one ever told me that I needed to do that. No
yeah,
one ever pushed that. And so now, starting a bit more this week and then for sure next week, that work I'm going to be doing more. Yeah, 7 a.m., fine.
that
6
sounds
a.m.,
much more
fine. But
doable, yeah.
people were booking 5 a.m. calls with me
No.
and stuff, and it just was not
'Cause you
reasonable.
wanna give yourself the time to wake up and sort of have a moment before you
Yeah.
start the
And
call.
just, yeah, it just was too much. Maybe at some point it'll be fine. But I have been loving still being really involved in that.
Mhm,
Yesterday, I was just in such a zone doing the website stuff and just kind of some bigger management things. And it was so much fun. I
that's
love
nice.
that I'm still connected to the studio, and I'll be back in hopefully two times in the autumn. So I'll get to touch base with Pi physically again. Um, so I think it has been kind of a saving grace that I'm still super connected to the studio because I feel
Mhm,
very disconnected from, I feel very kind of like I'm just sort of floating in
mhm.
the abyss. I did find a studio here. And
Yes,
did we talk about that?
we mentioned it briefly, in the chat with Max, or you mentioned that
Right.
you had
Because I
gone
went that day.
because I said, "Text me or give me the details, and we'll put it on the
Yeah.
directory if it is."
And it's kind of funny because we had spoken with Max about, or maybe it was just you and I had spoken about how to define classical Pilates, which we will have a later, longer episode about. But one thing we had talked about or kind of landed on was the apparatus.
Mhm.
I think Holly had said if they're not using classical apparatus, it's not classical. And I went into the studio and was instantly looking around like, is this classical apparatus? Blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of realized, I guess I don't know entirely what that means
Mhm.
because I know that the equipment in Pi is classical. And then I thought, but are there other types besides grots? And I'm like, I
Mhm.
know there are, but I don't know what the exhaustive list is. And
I think it's
then,
less brands to look out for, more like springs
yeah,
and straps is the big one.
yes. So it was all classical, which
Nice.
was great. And
Mhm.
then I did a reformer class and I just was so nervous thinking, what if this is not at all
Mhm.
what I wanted it to be? And then it was exactly what I knew.
Oh, yay.
And it was great and really enjoyed it. So that was a huge win.
Are you looking at, I don't know if you want to, we can always cut it out. Are you looking at wanting to teach there?
I'm going to teach there.
Yay,
Yes.
exciting.
Yes. Very excited about it. I'm going to teach. It's pretty nice because the owner, she used to work there pre-COVID, left during COVID to open up a studio in her home,
Mhm.
which is strangely enough like a few blocks away from where I live. And then 2 years ago, went back and bought the studio
Oh,
because
nice.
the owner was ready to leave. So she's kind of had a personal journey with it and is super nice. And I
Get
think
her on the
this,
podcast.
I know, I got to ask her now that we're friends. I'm like, once she like trusts me a little bit, I'm like, we had a really good chat. I will totally ask her to be on the podcast. Um, Super interesting woman and is still, she's 2 years into running this studio. It's kind of
Mhm.
funny because she was asking me about just what I'm doing and my life and blah, blah, blah. And I mentioned working for Pi. And she said, oh, do you do any social media? And I could tell she was kind
Oh,
of then going to ask. And I was
yeah.
like, nope. We have an
Yeah. You're like,
excellent
I don't want
person
no
named
more work.
Lily who does that. And that is not me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm already trying to do that for a few other things. And no. So she's trying to figure out, including I can tell kind of like the teachers and the schedule. But she was so
Mhm.
sweet. They're doing a photo shoot next week for just to kind of update the website. And they have a really nice, clean website. I was very drawn to
Bonus
it.
points.
Um, and she's like, there's just a lot of pictures of the old owner, which is fine, but we need to sort of revamp it. So I'm going
Mhm.
to be a part of that. So I'll get
Oh,
some
how
more
exciting.
pictures, which is great.
Perfect timing as well, I guess, that you're
Yeah.
moving over at that
And it's
time.
in a studio. It'll be good. And then I'm
Oh, we should
going,
check dates for the studio we want to look at here for when
yes,
you
we
are
need to
there.
do that.
Yes, that has just
We
reminded
need to
me.
book that in.
Mhm.
Um,
It's on the
and
list.
I'm going to be teaching a mat class and a apparatus class.
Oh,
They
because
she
you haven't taught math at Pi, right?
I
Or were you teaching them?
I so I before I did the full comp, I did my mat training at
Yes, you
Pi.
did. You
So I
did.
actually
Yeah.
feel very confident in the mat. And actually, when I started teaching originally
Hmm.
at Pi, I took on, why am I blanking on her name? Who used to teach the mat?
Um. Oh my God.
Why am I blanking? Ella.
Ella's. Yes.
I took Ella's.
Nice.
I covered that until whoever else it was, Natalia, came in to take it.
Oh, fun.
And I feel like Matt, I like it a lot. So I'm really
Hmm.
excited to do that.
I love teaching a math class in the week. It's very nice. So I'm glad
Yeah.
you're gonna have that.
And I told her, I said, I was only teaching reformer at Pi. And so I don't feel as comfortable. I feel comfortable teaching tower, but I don't feel as comfortable teaching something like chair.
Hmm.
She has a chair workshop coming up in early September that I'm going to do. So
Nice.
it's already kind of starting to
Yeah,
swirl.
I don't know if I would. I covered some chair classes last summer for one of the teachers at Pi, and I had one format and or like one class flow that I just did every single week because I could just not, I was struggling to come up with anything else.
Yeah.
And I'll just see, because I feel like the chair is just so much harder to like build out a whole class of that.
Yeah.
Because I'll sometimes see Javier's class teaching, or when he's teaching the chair, and he just comes up with the most wild things.
Yeah.
Because he obviously has so much more knowledge than I do, or just, and knows so many more
King.
exercises. Yeah, but I think I was just also so much more scared that people were going to fall off of the chair, whereas he has like a lot more confidence in them, whereas I was very
Yeah.
hesitant.
I mean,
So
I'm worried that I'm going to fall off the chair. So, of course, I'm worried that clients will fall off
yeah.
of the chair too. I do think it's such an interesting little tool,
Hmm.
and I haven't spent enough time with it to know. But
Yeah.
one cool thing about the studio is she has mat classes, and then as far as I can tell, actually, I guess she has a reformer class, a tower class, and then some are just apparatus.
Oh, nice. And you
So
jump around between them.
yeah, so she said I could have one of those, and then if I wanted to teach a full, like the class that I went into was an apparatus class, and then there were two other women there, both teachers, and she asked, "What do you want to do?" And they both said reformer, so we did
Nice.
reformer, but it was my understanding that that would be pretty open
Hmm.
if someone just texted me, how rude. Um,
Do they
it
not know
would
that we're
it was
filming our world
do
class
they not
podcast?
know that we're filming sticky notes? Um, yeah, it's my understanding that I could kind of like jump around. So that'd be cool. I can throw in
Nice.
some I started to put some chair in at the end of my reformer classes, at the end of my
I remember
pi
because you, in general,
teaching.
were taking reformer and then sometimes like going into tap because you were doing the level one class and
Yeah.
like you're
Yeah.
sometimes that level one you can. I had it happen because I covered one of those recently and we finished on the reformer with like 10 minutes to spare and I was like, right, let's head on to a tower
Yeah.
because I
I
just
feel like it's good. It's good practice because then you can just slowly start to. I was like, okay, I can teach a few exercises on the chair
Mhm.
without having to do a full 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's nice
Um,
because also if you're not teaching, even I mean even if you are teaching private clients, I don't tend to take them onto the chair all that much, or the ones I've currently got, I'm not taking them onto the chair just because that's not what their body needs necessarily. So
yeah,
it's good to keep up the knowledge of how to teach certain exercises. Like there are some exercises that I have not taught since my exam. So I'm like, I
yeah,
need to almost refresh myself and teach
yeah.
them.
Oh my God, Sarah.
Sarah!
She's sending me really nice things, but hide alerts. Like, oh
How
my
is it living
God.
away from her or being away from her?
It's such a bummer. It's such
Yeah.
a bummer. It's kind of, I think it's such a special thing that I was in Chiswick for a year. She joined for school. We both met our partners in Chiswick, and I mean, Tristan and I were living together with her
Hmm.
and then moved out into a few different locations before we moved here. So this feels like the first place we've actually moved in together, just us. And then she's doing the same with her partner in a
How
few short
exciting.
days. So it feels like we sort of held each other's hands through
Hmm.
this next phase. And now we're doing it at the same time, which I think is really sweet. But it's definitely tough. Like when we filmed an episode when I was in Brest with
Hmm.
her and her sister and her mom, and the only piece really missing in that was my mom because she wasn't able to come. But there is something, I mean, your best friend is far away. It's tough to not be with your person.
Hmm.
It's so fun to have. Like I cannot believe that I was able to. We lived together for 4 years almost.
Wow.
That's so, it was the best. It was
Hmm.
so much fun. I feel like to be able to do that in this phase of life and not
Hmm.
as students at the end of it, just
Yeah.
being
Adults.
people. It was just so fun. Yeah. So
That's
that's
lovely.
tough.
Yeah.
I miss that for sure. But I'm a lot closer to my one of my brothers.
Nice.
I'm closer to a few other friends who live on the West Coast, so that's good. Um, I definitely had a few moments where I just was like, why are we here?
Hmm.
We need to leave. This is terrible. And it's not terrible. There's a lot of wonderful things about Salt Lake. Surprisingly, the food has been
Really?
really
Oh,
good.
oh, never mind. I was going to tell you something, but then I realized I know this information from you. And I was like, I was going to say this story about people leaving for missions and coming back
Yes.
knowing the
I
food.
mean, I was going to say
I
that. Is
was
that
like,
bad to say?
no, you can. But I realized I was like, oh my God, I heard. And then I heard it from you.
Like, I don't know if this is true. I'm not studying the culture
Hmm.
here. I'm just observing it. But we do have this book that Tristan's mom got us just about restaurants and food in Salt Lake City. And it was saying how there's a really high demand for good international cuisine because a lot of people are leaving to go to other parts of the world to do missions and then come
Hmm.
back, which makes sense. Whether it's
Yeah.
true or not, I don't know. It makes sense. And a lot of the food that we've had, restaurants we've been to, has been really, really good. So
That makes
that
sense, right?
is a huge win. Tristan's mom, um, who I adore and is very European, she went to sort of explore some bakeries for us,
Hmm.
and she came back and basically said, "Just don't even bother.
Oh,
There's no good bakeries." There's
tough.
a really, really good cinnamon roll specific place
Okay.
right around the corner from us. And the first week here, I was eating like 2 cinnamon rolls a day,
Oh, I love that.
living my best life. It was
Mhm.
so good. Um, but beyond that, hasn't
There are a
been.
couple of, as my, yes, I can say it officially here because I've told most of the people. I still need to email Holly, but my time in London is also coming to an end. I've got a couple
I
more months.
subtly, by mistake, mentioned it to Holly.
That's all right. I need to email her because now things are materializing on the other side. I mean, but anyways, I was always going to have to leave at a certain date because my visa is
Yeah,
up.
it
Um,
worked out. It was because she emailed me and she said, um, she's like, I won't say who the teacher was, but she's like, have we already added in this person? And I was like, yes, X person is
mhm.
starting, blah, 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 blah. And she said, um, oh man, like I have a really, really awesome teacher I want to bring in. Is there any room? And I was like, I think maybe Layla might be potentially at
Yeah,
some point
yeah,
maybe leaving, but I'm not quite sure. She was like, oh, great. Like she'll be missed, but let me know. And I was like,
yeah. Okay,
okay.
perfect. That makes me glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Not that she is wanting me out, but that there is people. Like, I don't want to put her in a, leave her in a
Mm.
situation where she's looking
No,
for
she has
something
someone she's very excited to bring in. So
that works out.
no
Um,
stress.
but yeah, so I've got limited time left. It's still like 2 and a bit months, but I'm just trying to be more conscious of my last few weeks here and just really trying to. There's a lot of things that when you live in a city, you say, oh, I'll get around to it eventually, and you just
Yeah.
don't. So even just like there's a couple or quite a few bakeries and like places that I want to try. So that is my like main thing that I think I am going to miss here. So I'm going to make it a thing on my Sundays because I also need to be doing some more runs. I'm going to try to run to and or around or like finish my runs at bakeries, or even like halfway through my run so that I just will force
Love
me to
that.
run, which I need to be doing for my training, and then also to like knock off some of those pastries places
But I
and like
have two
bakeries.
questions.
Yeah.
I have one about running.
Okay.
Tristan wants me to sign up for a run
Ooh.
in October. It started off as a proposal of a half marathon.
Hmm.
I don't I don't know about that.
Okay.
I am enticed to just sign up and see
Hmm.
what happens, but I am not really a runner. I have
Hmm.
run on and off. Sarah and I used to run together a lot, but we would do max, I think 8 miles. That was
Hmm.
kind of, I'd sort of get a little bit bored after that. But You weren't a runner before you started running.
No.
Do you have advice? Have you used an app or any type of specific
I
training
quite
plan?
like the Nike Run Club app is really great and they do very
Yep.
good guided runs. So I would
Mm,
recommend them. I've heard a
okay.
lot about Runno and I do have like I am technically on a Runna plan for my half marathon. I just haven't really been listening to it
Mm,
because anyways my back had been gone. So I stopped running for a while and then I woke up on Sunday and was like, well, the clock is ticking and this is either going to be a very painful half. I've also got a couple of 10Ks I'm signed up to before then. Like they're either going to be very painful or I'm going to do my training and they're going to be less painful. So
so do you
I
enjoy it now when you're running? Are you
um
getting to that point?
some runs, yes, not every run,
Yeah.
but I mean I enjoyed my run on Sunday, but the weather was really great.
Because I find
Um
afterwards it's amazing. There's
all,
no
I have that
euphoria like
with
it.
like HIIT workouts as well though. I
Yes,
get that
that's
same
true.
endorphin. Pilates, I feel incredible after, but it's a different type of endorphin to like that post HIIT
Yeah.
or endorphin. So I get a similar endorphin from F45 that I do to running. So I would equate them to the same level.
Yeah.
Um, I think whilst obviously I've been on a couple runs now in this like running era, I think definitely all the cardio I was doing at F45 has translated over to running because it is
Yeah.
building up my endurance or like my engine, as some people would say.
Yeah.
So I think that has helped because even weeks where I'm not running, I know I'm still pushing a lot from the cardio side. So whilst it doesn't fully even out, I'm like, okay, it's at least something. Um, so I think also you've got to just book something because then you have something to train for. I think it's
Yeah.
harder to run or stick to any type of training plan if it's just you're training for not nothing, but
Nothing. I
yeah.
totally agree. I think I feel intimidated right now by the elevation here, even though I
Mm,
know by October I'll feel totally different. But right now, it's getting better. It very quickly gets better. But my first few days here, my resting heart rate was like 61.
oh, wow.
My body was just like, where have you
And where does yours sit
landed?
naturally or normally?
Around like 48,
Mm,
49
yeah.
ish, which now it's getting back there. I think a few days ago it was like 51.
Hmm.
But we did a I'm trying to learn to appreciate trail running, which is a lot of
Hmm.
fun because it's basically just like running around in the mountains. Um, and Tristan is like very familiar with that. He's super comfortable in the mountains, so he took me on a what ended up being 2.5-ish hours of like hiking,
Oh my
running,
God.
and my average heart rate was 160 for
That
the whole
sounds
thing.
healthy.
And I the whole time was like
Mm,
I could not breathe. Um, but we did like a 5 hour big hike on Monday and
no.
my heart rate was a lot better. So I'm hoping it would be great if I could sign up for a half marathon.
That'd be so
Not
fun because
in
I'm doing my half in October. So then we'd both
When
do
is
one
it
in
in
half.
October?
October like 12th, I believe.
Okay. I feel like this one's around similar time. It's like mid October. So maybe I'll just do that.
Mm.
They also have like a 10K and a 5K. So maybe I'll just pace myself and do something
Mhm.
different. But um, one thing that has been very different here is just the outdoor culture is so strong, which makes
That's
sense because the
nice.
mountains are 5 minutes away,
Mhm.
literally. Um, but I'm not super comfortable in that zone, so I'm having to learn a lot,
Adjust.
adjust. Yeah.
Fair.
And I went to F45, which I told you I didn't do it for that long in London, but I loved the location I went to in London. I went to the
Mhm.
Hammersmith one, and they were just, I'm sure it's the same at yours because you love it. And they're just like energetic,
Mm.
pumped up, exciting, like such a fun group of people. And I went to the one here and I did not get the same
Too bad.
energy. Yeah.
I'm
And
sure you'll find something that's got that or some
yeah,
type
it
of
was only
workout.
one. It was only my first time, and they had an intro offer, so I'm signed up for two more. So we'll do them, but and we'll see if it pivots. But I did then find a gym because I had to drive there, which was I like didn't love that. I did find a place that is very close to me, a gym, and I went there yesterday to touch base with the owner. Really liked him.
Nice.
Very good energy. So
All right, that's good.
kind of finding I've got my Pilates, I've got my gym,
Mhm. Creating, you're building out your
building
community.
it all out. But do I think it's my forever home? Definitely not. But Tristan loves what he's doing. So that's the most
The work
important
stuff.
because that's why we're here. So he loves it. And moving is just a weird, weird thing.
Hmm.
And the other thing I was going to ask you is just on the topic of London, since you're now in your what did it say? Your twilight hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What are your favorite things about being in London?
I think what I'm going to struggle to find elsewhere, especially in the Middle East, which is most likely where I'm going to end up, is just the walkability of this city is what I
Mm-hmm.
adore,
Yeah.
um, more than anything, and just the green spaces that exist. So I think,
Tristan just walked out of
um,
the bedroom. I was like, he's gonna come into view, but he didn't.
uh,
The greenness is huge. The
yeah,
parks.
that is the thing that I think that's what I'm trying to make use of now and really not take for granted. Even just this morning, I was like, no, let me go like just to the coffee shop that's on my street. Went and I tried a new bakery.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to make use of that or enjoy those things specifically. I think that is what I will miss more than anything. Obviously, the communities I've built here as well and the people. A lot of my closest friends, though, I know I can always contact and see, and will most likely all be like living very near to one another. I think I'm more going to miss the barista that I see every day when I go to grab my
Yeah.
coffee, like those sort of people.
Yeah.
'Cause it was a similar thing when I was leaving high school, where of course I was going to miss my best friend, but we were going to stay in contact. I miss the people I had in classes where we may not have been the closest friends, but they're people you're friendly with because of the environment you're in.
Yeah.
So I think I'll miss my friends at F45 as well for sure.
Because
Um,
you'll be moving back to Saudi. Is that?
mhm.
Yeah.
Or that will be at least the sort of that is where all my belongings are going to be shipped to and sent
Yeah.
to my parents' place in Riyadh, and
Yeah.
then from there I shall see where life takes me.
Yeah.
But I think if I can find somewhere where I've still got a lot of outdoorsiness, which just unfortunately does not exist really in the Middle East. But
Yeah. Just because it's so hot.
yeah, and
Yeah.
just I mean, there it's similar to the States in that all those cities are built to like driving cities. You'd never walk anywhere. In
Yeah.
Lebanon, maybe. I mean, Lebanon, yes, there are parts of it that are very walkable. But I don't foresee myself living in Lebanon. And then the UAE is just the same thing. It's a driving city.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are pockets that are walkable, but then in the summer you're looking at 40, 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So
That's like here. We got in the car yesterday and it said our outside temp was 105
wow,
Fahrenheit, which I don't know what that translates to in Celsius, but it is
very
hot.
hot. Yeah.
It's hot and dry.
Mm,
That has been a huge adjustment. It's really, really dry. And yeah, people don't, in the summer anyway, you are not walking unless
mm,
you really need to because it's like you walk outside and you feel like you're in an oven. It's crazy.
oh.
Um,
Yeah, so I think the
yeah.
food, or not the food,
So,
the greenery is what I'm going to
the
miss a lot.
greenery. Yeah.
And just, I mean, the
I
city in
even
general. I love it.
miss I kind of miss the grayness now.
I have to say, it is very gloomy right now outside.
Is it gloomy? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't send it to you. It was
Every
pleasantly sunny this morning, but it's just taken a turn.
every single day here. And I anticipate it will change because you get four full seasons, which I'm
That's
very
surprising.
excited about. But
Mhm.
um, the every single day is sunny and hot
Oh,
and blue skies. and
Yeah.
that's great. But I did have during one of my sad moments a few days ago, I was like, I miss the rain.
Mm.
Like there's no cozy rain
Yeah.
here, which is
I
just
oh, I will miss that actually for sure. I love a cozy winter day, like or gloomy day. And I think my body is now so used to the climate here that I'm not no longer adjusted for the heat. Whereas
yeah.
obviously growing up, hot temperatures were fine. And if it dropped below 20, I almost found that very cold. Whereas now it hits 13 and after a long winter, I'm like, oh my God, let's get to the park. It's time to go tan,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sun. So I think it'll
Do
be
you
interesting to
feel
readjust.
like it's the right time to be moving on from London, or did you have any
Um,
moments of like, I need to figure out how I can stay here?
yes and no. I think I could have stayed for like many more years and been lived a very sort of comfortable life here.
Yeah.
But I think I knew I never wanted to settle permanently in London. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just foresaw myself longer term going back to the Middle East just to like have a family and kids. It just felt more natural. Well, not natural, but
Yeah.
that is just what I saw for myself.
Hold on, Tristan's gonna say.
Hello.
You're going to work? All right. Is that what you wear to work?
Is this his first time on the podcast?
That's where to work. Swim shorts. Yeah. All right. Love you. I know, he says. I have the same sentiment about London where I'm like, I always knew I didn't want to settle down there,
Mhm.
but it's a very good place to have that phase of life.
Yeah, it's a great, I think for your early mid 20s or just any time really. It's an amazing city. And I think it's so great because there are so many different versions of London. I mean, each borough versus like west, north, east, south. I think there's a part of London for everyone.
Yeah.
And there are communities for everyone. But I was saying this to someone actually the other day. London is not an I don't think it is an easy city to live in or an easy city to love, but I think if you give it that love and effort, I think you are rewarded for that. But I don't think you
Mm,
can just coast through the city. I mean, you
yeah.
could, but I think to really get the most out of it, you have to put effort into it.
Yeah.
So I think people who have had negative experiences with the city, maybe that is what, because I was talking to someone and she was moving back to Houston. And I was telling her, I was like, it's not an easy city to live in for sure, but it has definitely become a home.
Yeah.
I would have loved to, I always say at least like another year here just because I feel like I've gone through so many phases and I only now feel very settled in my life and in teaching and what I want for my future. So I wish I could have had another year to learn from mentors here and from working in studios here. But hopefully I'll still be able to continue a lot of it through like virtual workshops and virtual training.
Yeah.
Um, but I also know if I was not being forced out of the city, I don't think I would ever leave. So whilst I was like looking into ways that I could sort of finesse a work sponsorship, or not finesse it, but work around those restrictions,
Yeah.
ultimately, my I was if to me what was meant to be would be, and if I was supposed to be in London for another year, an opportunity would present itself, or there would be times.
Yeah.
Um, but
Absolutely.
when I tell you more about what I'm cooking up, I think to me it was an opportunity that almost landed in my lap. And it is just, to me, I took that as a sign that, okay, no, I do need to leave.
Yeah.
Um,
As
but
it should. Totally.
yeah. So,
Totally.
yeah, I don't think I was just saw a quote and it was like, leave the party while you're still having fun. And I think that is so true.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
like that.
And it was really,
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? Well, no, we're not on our topic of our. No, no. Can you? No, we don't have that much time. Can you go away, please? Can you go away? I love you. It is
Tristan's first time on the podcast.
first. We we can interview you one day.
I was gonna say we should
Plus
have
a
done an
dog.
We should have done like an exit interview for you leaving the UK to go back, but you'll be back to London
I
eventually.
told Holly that she should have done an exit interview with me for Pi, and then she was like, "You're not leaving," and I was like,
I'm
"You're so
scared.
right." I would do an exit interview and still be like incredibly present,
Yeah.
like on all of the communications and emails and everything. Um, yeah. Oh wait, I was gonna say something else about.
Tristan would be good to speak. I mean, because we can now speak to him on sticky notes because it's become a bit more of a personal
It's
life
become a
on the
bit more.
podcast.
I know. I
With
actually really like the direction that it is going in. I
yeah.
think it adds sort of a fun layer. And at one point, you said people are going to be um, communicating
Spending
with us,
time.
working
Yeah.
with us, hopefully knowing us. So I feel like it does make sense to have
Mhm.
an avenue where they're learning more about us.
Yeah.
Um,
I also like that it's a way for us to catch up and be in contact more.
yeah. Okay. Love you. Bye. Yeah. Sounds good. Um,
Bye.
um, yeah, I really like that quote about leave the party while you're still having fun
Mhm.
because I I felt like I was actually getting to the point with um London where I was starting to kind of not have fun.
Mhm.
Like I needed the change and the change has been so good for me, but it's kind of funny. My dad's from London. He's a Londoner and he would never, I mean, maybe not never, but he has no interest in coming back even to visit. Like it
So
is
interesting.
not, he just doesn't really care that much. But then
Mhm.
if you ever say anything bad about London, he's like, no city holds a candle to London. Like it is the best place on earth.
It's
So
truly such a melting pot of so much. Like it is. So I think. I mean, I know there are a lot of cities like it. I know New York is compared a lot to London, but it is just. It is so unique in how or what I've seen from London. How many different walks of life and types of people there are here. I think there are
yeah,
no two same people in the city, and it is
yeah,
just such a cool place to be. And I think it's. I think big cities in general in your 20s are great places to be in because it allows for levels of self-exploration that you may not have in sort of smaller towns and or cities because you can truly no one I mean I walk down the street and some of the things I see like I'm truly so unfazed by it and I know everyone else is like the amount of stuff that is just going on no one cares you could do whatever you want in the city I mean within reason
yeah,
obviously legally but and no one will
yeah,
bat an
yeah.
eyelid and so
It's
I
true.
think in that way it is so freeing and I think that is I mean that actually more than even the greenery I think I will miss that a lot when I go back to Middle East because in the Middle East there is like a, a microscope on what you are doing and people like
Mm,
to talk. Um, and everyone is connected. So you feel like you're always being watched almost. And I
yeah,
think that is what I will miss here. There's like a level of freedom and independence that I don't know if I will have again. So
yeah. I also think learning how to be a Pilates teacher, classical teacher in London, maybe I'm biased because that's where it happened for me, is still happening, but where it started for me, it is such a good place to
mhm.
learn that world
We've got a
because,
great community here
oh my gosh,
and so
such a
much
good
expertise.
community.
Mhm. And
So
there are
much
so many
expertise,
people to
so
like
many
tap
different
into.
studios. Like, and it's funny because I remember Holly saying to me in the US is where it's really popular, classical Pilates, which makes sense because of its origins in New York. But and I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's so cool. I can't wait to be really surrounded by that. But it's also spread out over,
Mhm.
50 UKs or whatever
Yeah.
it is, it's yeah. So London was a very good spot for
Mhm.
that.
But no, leave the party while you're still having fun. And I think especially now in these last few months, my love of London has reignited because I'm like, okay, you've only got two and a bit months left. Like, just give it your like, love it as much as you can. But I
Yeah.
do think I can see how I would have tired from the city and like got into a burnout just because it is also a hard city to live in. It's becoming more expensive by the month, it feels like.
Yeah.
And it is very fast paced. And I'm also very far from, like you were, I'm very far from family being here. So I can see how it would have eventually got to me. It is just, I think, because I am so new in this new phase of life, it doesn't actually feel like I've been here for that long because I'm like, oh, but now I'm Layla. But that is what I will always owe and love and like have so much love to the city for. I think it, I was saying it to someone, it broke me down and then it rebuilt me and put me back
Yeah.
together into the person I am now.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's almost like it's sending me off and sending me back as the Layla that I needed to be or need to be now.
Aw, I love
So
that.
yeah, and I'm so glad that I'm leaving the city with so much love for it because it means I can always come back. It's not going anywhere. Um,
Yeah.
and I'll have fond memories of it rather than almost dragging out my time here and trying to figure out alternate ways to stay or force something that wasn't meant to be. So
Yeah.
whilst I don't think I'll ever have felt ready to leave, that's why I'm like, okay, leave the party while it's still having fun is what I keep reminding myself, and
Yeah.
it'll it'll be all right.
I had a good friend text me the day that I moved here,
Mhm.
and she said something like a few things. And at the end, she said, God knows London isn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, you're so right. It's not. And I know when I visit in September, I will land. Like, I feel so grateful to know a place so well.
Hmm.
That is such an amazing thing. And lots of people have that with lots of places, but I feel very lucky to know London. So
Hmm.
when I land, I'll, have all my spots.
You'll
And
be
that's
right back home.
such a gift. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
That's all the personal updates, and we're going to get into the business chat in next week's episode because we went a bit longer than planned. So, all the business stuff coming next week. The
Yeah.
cliffhanger of
Including our
our
scam
scam is
update.
to be listened to. So, see you next
Yeah.
week.